Shabbat Shalom everyone. Welcome to Science Lab. The signs are happening because Lord Jesus Christ is coming.
Every day we are looking at some of the signs that are happening around us. In this episode, we are going to see the signs in Israel.
Israel's economy is strong and growing stronger. In the last decade, the nation's per capita gross domestic product has grown by 45%, significantly better than most Western nations.
Foreign direct investment in the quarter of 2019 increased by more than 45 billion and is currently at a high record. Israel is a world leader in scientific research, technology, innovation, and development.
Militarily, Israel is stronger than ever. While it isn't the largest military in the Middle East, the Israel Defense Force is technologically superior, more highly trained and better equipped than all the others. This gives Israel tremendous confidence in its military, intelligence and security establishments.
Israel is also confident strategically and geopolitically. Terrorist violence is ever present and the nation remains surrounded by enemies, some of which regularly fire missiles at Israel's towns and cities. But those seeking Israel's destruction are either weakened by political dysfunction. Example, the Palestinian Authority, or relatively ineffectual before Israel's superior strength.
Israel's belief that as long as they remain strong and alert, they will be safe and secure. Given these conditions, it's easy to understand why the Jewish state today is feeling confident and optimistic. Concurrently, it's enjoying a resurgence in its relationship with America. Donald Trump's view of the Jewish state is basically the polar opposite of his predecessor, who practiced an adversarial foreign policy that sought to undermine Israel and embolden its enemies. Since President Trump was inaugurated in January 2017, his basic approach to Israel has been to look at what Barack Obama did, then to do the opposite. America and its president are a major part of Israel's success and is confident and optimistic. At a time when anti-Semitism is mounting globally and Israel is being maligned and isolated, having the support of America's president has been extraordinary and indispensable. Caroline Clegg called Mr. Trump the most pro-Israel president in U.S. history. No other president came close. He has also been called the first Jewish president of the United States. Shmuley Botev, a popular American rabbi, described the sentiment many Jews have toward the Donald Trump in a Jerusalem Post article in April 2019. He wrote, "Hearing the most powerful man on earth acknowledge the rise of Jew hatred all over the globe and his declaration of war against it helped to greatly assuage Jewish feeling of isolation and abandonment." US President Donald Trump told us that we are not in the fight alone. There will be modern Masada. There is no fortress Israel. The most powerful nation on earth is by Israel's side. One can appreciate this man's sense of hope and the general confidence and optimism in Israel today. But how long can the good times last? There are reasons to believe that Israel has too much confidence, too much hope, both in itself and in President Trump. First, do consider what Donald Trump has done for Israel. On May 22, 2017, just 4 months after taking office, Donald Trump became the first sitting U.S. president to visit the Western world, one of the Jews' most revered sites. It was a very public gesture, delivered early in his presidency and deeply unpopular with the international community, and was a clear sign of where America's president stood. Six months later, on December 6, 2017, Mr. Trump again made history by becoming the first U.S. president to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Then on May 14, 2008, the 51st anniversary of the Six-Day War and Jerusalem's unification, America opened its embassy in Jerusalem. This decision was also deeply unpopular with the international community and within America's political establishment. This didn't faze Mr. Trump. America had promised for decades to relocate its embassy to Jerusalem, and he was determined to follow through. Israel was thrilled and grateful. At the embassy opening, Israeli President Reuven Rivlin said, "Finally, we have a leader who promised it and also kept his promise." On March 21, 2019, America's president made another pro-Israel announcement. With one tweet, he overhauled a major America's policy on Israel. After 52 years, it is time for the United States to fully recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights, which is of critical strategic and security importance to the state of Israel and regional stability. A few days later, the White House made it official. Again, this decision ranked politicians in America and in the international community. But that didn't deter Mr. Trump. Israel came first. Since January 2017, within the notoriously anti-Israel United States, the US has robustly defended Israel. Until she resigns on December 2018, Nikki Haley, handpicked by Donald Trump as America's ambassador to the UN, was an absolute warrior for Israel. She introduced Security Council resolutions condemning Hamas and withdrew US support from UNESCO, UNRWA, and UN Human Rights Council, all favoring Israel. America's president has initiated many other significant changes, including cutting aid to the Palestinian Authority, which, among other corrupt behavior, uses funds to pay family members of terrorists, officially designating Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist entity, and routinely and publicly defending Israel and furthering its interests both domestically and globally. Under President Trump, America has delivered on promises that have been made for decades. Many of the president's actions have been significant, meaningful, and even very historic. Considering all these decisions, it's easy to understand Israel's affection for Mr. Trump and why many Israelis and Jews are so hopeful. There is a certain confidence and comfort that comes from knowing that the leader of the most powerful nation on earth has your back. Add in Israel's economic and military strength, and you can understand the nation's optimism.
But is Israel too confident? Both Israel and America ought to remember the words of wise King Solomon. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. To understand why, we need to examine what Bible prophecy says about the present situation.
So far, we were seeing about the miracles of Israel. After seeing all these things, we definitely need a break. Don't go anywhere, we'll continue after a break. Welcome back to Science Lab. The signs are happening because Lord Jesus Christ is coming. Before the break, we were saying about the miracles of Israel. Let's continue searching the miracles in Israel. The prophecy in Amos 7 identifies Donald Trump as a modern-day type of King Jeroboam II of Israel. King Jeroboam presided over a spectacular renaissance in the kingdom of Israel in the first half of the 8th century BC. Israel attained a level of material prosperity, power, and national security it hadn't experienced since King Solomon.
Today, America and Britain are the modern-day descendants of ancient Israel, and these nations are enjoying an obvious resurgence. Who is ultimately responsible for this resurgence? Verse 27 says that it was God who saved by the hand of Jeroboam.
This resurgence was not because of any personal greatness or leadership skill by Jeroboam. It was because God took pity on Israel in its affliction. And of course, God didn't want the name of Israel to be blotted out. Another reason was because God saved Israel. The same thing is true today. God is behind the resurgence in both America and the Jewish state. The Jews today are the descendants of ancient Judah, The nation of Israel covers virtually all the territory included within that kingdom. Anciently, both Israel and Judah experienced a national resurgence at precisely the same time. The King James Study Bible says, during the first half of the 8th century BC, both kingdoms were enjoying great prosperity and has reached new political and military heights. As is so common with the human nature, the material prosperity and power caused both of the people of Israel and Judah to grow overconfident and arrogant. 2 Chronicles chapter 26 verse 16 says, "But when Uzziah, Judah's king, became strong, he became so proud of himself and his accomplishment that he acted corruptly. He was unfaithful and sinned against the Lord his God." Both Israel and Judah became overconfident. They became fixated on material wealth and pursuits and on satisfying carnal passions. It was also a time of idolatry, extravagant indulgence in luxurious things, immorality, corruption of judicial procedure, and oppression of the poor. Many were so deceived that they actually believed God was blessing the nation for its righteousness. Anciently, the revivals in both Israel and Judah were short-lived. Not long after, Israel was conquered and its people dispersed in captivity of the Assyrians. The affluence in the kingdom of Judah lasted a little bit longer, but it also ended. Judah was soon conquered and enslaved by the Babylonians. This history is so positive and inspiring. If only America, Britain, and the Jewish state would give it the time and attention it deserves. God is using this history and its present parallels to warn these nations. He is giving these nations a resurgence so He can deliver one final warning. He is trying to communicate with us. Will you listen to what God is saying? Israel should not allow President Trump's ardent support to bail it into the trap of overconfidence. It must not exaggerate America's long-term commitment and ability to support and defend the Jewish state. It must not allow its economic and military strength to foster a false sense of security. After all, what happens if America's president suddenly changes its approach? What comes after Donald Trump? His current stance on Israel is an exception among world leaders. At some point, this anomaly will end. Then what? Israel is confident and optimistic, but it must be realistic, and it makes a grave mistake if it leaves God out of the picture.
For now, Israel has Donald Trump on its side thanks to God's sanction. America's president is a powerful force to be aligned with, but Bible prophecy says Mr. Trump and the resurgence underway in both America and Israel is a temporary phenomenon. Time, geography, global trends, and Bible prophecy are on the side of Israel enemies.
Israel is the timepiece we should watch out for in these last days. By looking at what is happening in and around Israel, we will know that at what time we are in. All this shows that we are living in the crucial hours in the last days. Thank you for watching this episode, and don't forget to tune into the Science Lab next time.
What is foretold in the Bible is happening again in our lifetime. The budding of the fig tree, that is the nation of Israel, shows that we are living in the last days. Lord Jesus Christ is coming back again very soon. Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to tune into Science Lab next time.
Now we would like to end the program by asking you a question. Who is the 13th king of the ancient kingdom of Israel? The options are option A, Jehu, option B, Joash, and option C, Jeroboam II.
Send us the right answer to sciencelab@angeltv.org. If you have missed any of the episodes, don't worry, you can watch it again in our Science Lab YouTube page. But don't forget to like, share, and comment on the video.
Ask your friends and relatives to watch the Science Lab so that they will know that we are living in the last days. Remember, signs are happening because Lord Jesus Christ is coming. Maranatha.